Hey guys, Mike here. So what a day in the market, right? We open up, 1.5% down the red, end up climbing to over 1% up, and then of course end up in the red for the day. So some nice swings there, but I did notice something. And before we get into what Jerome Powell said today, I got a couple of clips to show you that, there was something I noticed this morning when we opened up red. I was looking at the stocks that were actually green, and it was kind of surprising to see this. But if you look here, you can see, transportation stocks down, ARC's down a little bit, but look at the stocks inside ARC, right? They're all green, right? You see a lot of stocks have been beaten down. Financials are down. Biotech's down. Travel's down. You look at it, any kind of metal stocks down. Crypto stocks are down. But then, you get over here to Twitter and Pinterest and Snap and Snow, and all these are green. The Chinese stocks finally went back in the red. Your fintechs are mostly up at that point in time. Then you look at semiconductors. They're mixed, of course. The big tech, stocks were a little mixed. I think it was about 50% were green, 50% were red. But it was these smaller stocks, and so you can see the index is red right there. It's about probably 30 minutes into the market as it's trying to make a comeback. But you see, stocks like, SPACs like Skills and Open Door and stuff like that up. And then when we get to the end of the day, this is around 3:30, so I know we closed in the red, but had a sell-off. But as you can see, all of a sudden now you got ARCs back in the green. Those other stocks that were up in the morning are much more up, obviously, as you can see right there. Financials made a recovery. Biotech made a recovery. Travel somewhat made a recovery, as you can see right there with the cruise stocks and the airline stocks. And we keep scrolling down. Obviously, uranium, crypto stocks got absolutely destroyed. Getting the cybersecurity's up. You end up getting the same stocks that were up before, even more up now, right? Your Chinese stocks go down even further. Fintechs go mixed. Some go back to red, some go back to green. And then we keep mowing down. Semiconductors, unfortunately, that sector got hit except for one stock for whatever reason. All your big cap stocks end up going into the green by the end of the day right there, as you can see. And, you go down here, I think the ones at the bottom I got down there, the small caps, which were Skills and Open Door, obviously up even more than they were before, of course, there as well. And, this right here was that chart I was telling you about yesterday. This is the short selling right there, that level right there, that line going across. That was where we were at yesterday. And you can see we hadn't seen that since '08, right? And so, obviously, there's no doubt shorts are coming for sure. And I think if you look, this is why you see something like RK, right? Which her stocks are, Kathy Wood's stocks are heavily shorted. You can see how oversold it's been all of 2022, actually, really, if you look at that. And, it's actually holding its low since May, it seems like, right? This is the weekly right here. And you can see it's right up against that channel. It's bounced off a couple times now. And so if you look at the daily, you see the same thing. Oversold, bounces from being oversold, trades up, trades down a little bit, but it's holding that low right there. And it's right up against the top of the channel, right? And so the question is it going to actually move out and bust out of that channel for the first time since last November, which of course has been a long time? That's the big question. Or is it going to reject off of it and start selling back down? That's what I can't wait to see here. Coming tomorrow, we should really know, I think. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, guys, if you get something out of this. And of course, it could be a coincidence. The reason why I found this interesting was because here you got a lot of people selling oil stocks, right? They're taking that profit off the table. Let's get this, secure it for sure. You see those stocks are still selling off. And that money's going somewhere, right? So these stocks, you see they're going green. Those ones, especially the SPAC stocks or any kind of high growth stock, have been hammered anywhere between 50 and 90%. So, is some of the money flowing in there or not? Because when the market was red and they were green, that was really surprising. Usually if the market's red, they're red too. But you get to a point, there will come a point, we may not be there yet, to where those kind of stocks are they're just so far beat down that, short sellers, a couple things can happen. Short sellers just want to pump them back up, just to knock them back down again, right? Because you start shorting a stock at 20, you drive it all the way down to 2, not a whole lot of room left to go, right? And so you go after something else. And so, the question is, and of course they also know that once these stocks get beat down like that, people will tend to trade them up. So it might not be, you see long-term investments going in those stocks, especially think about Coinbase, right? Coinbase goes up yesterday and you think to yourself, why? I don't know, I was. Like crypto's going to crypto winter for sure. It's falling off a cliff. They make the majority of their money off fees from trading. Who's buying right now? And so a lot of selling, I guess, but there's going to come a point where it's going to be really stagnant. So their earnings should be horrible. for the next few quarters, most likely. And so, but these hedge funds, these algos, they'll trade these stocks back up because they know once they get oversold and everything else, RK is a prime example, they'll just buy and run it back up and then do what? Sell it off and short it. So, we should know in the next couple of days at least, if you start seeing these stocks continue to run up, that money is actually flowing in there, whether that's a trade or long-term investment, we won't know for quite a while. But I definitely want to see if RK comes out of that channel and starts actually making a move up, which is something, because if you think about the macro picture, it's still disastrous, but that doesn't matter, right? A lot of people are really expecting a summer rally. I've seen people that are heavily shorted, huge bears in this market, say they have positioned themselves for a summer rally because we've sold off for so long. It's just the nature of the beast, and so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Now, as far as what Jerome Powell said, I'm going to show you something he said. If you're wondering, wait a minute, why is he raising interest rates if he can't get food and he can't get energy now, right? That's the major two big problems for normal people, right? And they can't affect that. And so he's getting hammered. Understand this is a political show, right? He's getting hammered all day long with the questions, and he's a politician himself. And so I'm going to let you hear why he's raising interest rates to make sure you'll hear from him, and then I'll come back and tell you exactly what he's talking about. And then I'll show you one other clip of why you never waste your time watching these. You let me do it, and I'll try to bring you the important parts because you'll never get those 2 hours of your life back.
Sure. So we think about interest rate increases as affecting financial conditions and then the economy through three broad channels, the first of which is interest-sensitive spending. So that's durable goods and automobiles and things like that. So interest rates go up. People's demand for, as a result of higher interest rates, will moderate or decline so that supply and demand can get into better balance. The second channel is just asset prices generally. Interest rates, as they go up, will cause asset prices to moderate across the economy, and people spend a little bit less out of their lower level of wealth. The third channel is the exchange rate, which is really just another asset price, and that just basically as the dollar strengthens. As rates go up, the dollar would strengthen.
And basically, the truth is, what it affects more than anything is stuff you may not even need, right? Do you need to go buy a house right now? Maybe not, but you see what's happening, right? A lot of you guys even commented said that the real estate's either flattening out or the prices are coming down, okay? And I'll show you some stats on that tomorrow. It's like, oof, goodness, cars, what's happening? You've seen autos, like they've kind of leveled off, went down, come back up a little bit. And because it's more expensive, the car is more expensive, the loan to get it is much more expensive now, right? Anything, I don't care if it's you're going to furnish your house, you're going to buy some big, huge electronic things you're going to need a loan for, a line of credit for, anything like that. And so people say, I think I'm going to wait, right? And so that starts to drop the price down because demand starts to come down. So it's kind of, and like I said many times, and I'll keep saying, the real estate market is doing its job for the Fed, and they know it, okay? So they see that happening right there. And so that's why they keep raising interest rates. I'll tell you another reason, he won't say this, but it just makes sense to me, that he is trying to get this interest rate up, that Fed funds rate up as high as he can, as fast as he can. And the reason why you want that to happen, or really more than anything else, is because if we do get in troubled times here in the economy, the Fed needs bullets in their gun, right? That Fed funds rate is one of those bullets. If the Fed funds rate is zero, you can't, there's nothing they really can do, right? But if he can get it to 3.5, then all of a sudden he can freeze them and then start lowering them down to help stimulate the economy, okay? And so that's one way to think about it. Plus he's trying to get these prices down as fast as possible at the same time. So it's just one, I don't think he would say that, but that's another thing I think he's trying to do, and why they're trying to do it so fast, like faster than I think they've ever really done it, not in my lifetime at least, they've ever done it. So the last one I'm going to show you here is, this guy always trips me. I think he's from Louisiana. He's funny. I won't give you the funny part of what he says, but, he's asking Powell directly a question. He wants his advice on stuff. But as you'll see, Jerome Powell, man, this guy is a politician amongst politicians, let me tell you. And, I personally don't like people like this. I like people that actually will answer questions, especially when they're being directly asked. Just please answer the question. We'll take your criticism, whatever you want to throw at us, and you still don't do it. And this is why you don't watch things like this, and you let me do it and just bring you the clips.
What if the United States Congress said, look, we've got a budget. We're going to freeze spending. We're going to stop injecting more money into the economy. We're going to freeze spending until Powell can get control on the demand side. Would that help?
I feel like giving you advice on what to do when
I'm asking
we're not
for it.
getting
I
our
welcome
own, we're not getting our own job done. I feel like maybe a better thing to do would be for us to get our house in order and do the job you've assigned us.
Well, let me put it another way. Let's suppose, forget about Congress. Let's suppose that every governor in every state and every legislature in every state got together tomorrow and said, I know it's not likely to happen, and said, we are going to freeze our budgets. We're not going to spend a penny more than's already budgeted. Would that help?
Would it help?
Sir?
Would it help with?
Would it help reduce inflation?
It would depend on it. Might, but I mean, it would take. I'm giving you. I'm scoring fiscal policy.
Well, I understand
really
you're being careful, but Mr. Chairman, the United States Congress, in addition to its regular budget, has spent $7 trillion. I'm not saying all of it was unnecessary. On top of that, the Fed's increased its balance sheet from $1.5 trillion to $9 trillion. $9 trillion. I know you're cutting it back, but we've injected all of this money into the economy. And then people go, well, we have inflation. Duh. Give me some help here. Tell me what we can do.
I'm really focused on what we can do, which is shrink our balance sheet and raise interest rates and get supply and demand back into alignment and get inflation back down to 2%.
And if you're wondering, that was pretty much the entire, what I think it was 2.5 hours, whatever it was, where so many questions he just wouldn't answer. And he's, we just need to get our house in order. I need to do my job, all this stuff. I mean, just nothing but just the same rhetoric you've heard a million times over. And so, first of all, I'll be honest with you, wouldn't it be interesting? Can you imagine if the federal government come out and said, you know what, we're just going to freeze our spending right now and actually go by our budget and everything and not go over anything else, and what that would do? I mean, it would just be like, what? That'd be like them saying, you know what we're going to do? We're going to balance the budget. We hadn't had a balanced budget since 2001, for those wondering about this. And so can you just imagine that? I mean, you want to talk about a market dropping fast? Oh my goodness. Yeah, it would drop really fast. So of course they can't do that. So yeah, I mean, I guess in a way you would definitely get maybe inflation in order, I guess. That would happen pretty fast maybe, but I'm not really sure, because guess what? Jerome Powell wouldn't answer the question. So hey, who knows? But that's why, they're politicians. That's what it is. It's just a dog and pony show. He knows what he's going up there to do. He's said the same thing a million different times. They'll try to keep raising rates. Come September, they'll look at the data, see what they need to do. So that's kind of where it's at. But tomorrow I'll definitely bring you some other stats I ran across, which is like, okay, interesting. And so we'll kind of go from there, and I'll keep researching a few other things for you guys. So if you got anything out of it, hit the like and subscribe button. I really appreciate it, guys. And I will see you guys tomorrow.